This should come as no surprise to absolutely anybody, but the pressure is on us in a big way, and probably keenly felt on Eric Ten Hag more than anybody else. United come into this one having won two, drawn two, and lost one of our last five games. Not what you would call stellar form. Porto are kind of known for their good performances across Europe, actually, and they've got a bit of European pedigree about them. And they've started off flying this season. They've won 6, lost 1 in the league. They're only 3 points off the top. They did lose to Bodo Glimt in the Europa League, which is, let's say it's interesting, I think it's fair to say. And injury-wise, we are still without Lenny Euro, Terrell Malacia and Luke Shaw. Supposedly, Maguire, Menu and Mount are all being assessed. For Porto, they are missing Marcano and Fabio Vieira. Now, Porto started this season with a recently promoted manager, Vitor Bruno, and it's his first role as a head coach, having worked as the assistant to the previous coach, Sergio Conceicao. And with Conceição's sacking, Bruno helmed the club to a very successful stint as an interim head coach. These numbers might sound quite similar or familiar, should I say. The club finished with 15 wins and 2 draws. So how do they play? Now, there isn't a hell of a lot of information really out there on Bruno's ideal style of play, but he has seemed to continue the ideas that were present during the previous manager, which looks like giving the players more freedom to show their individual qualities. And he's a coach that's obviously learning, seemingly willing to make mistakes, and seems to be relishing the opportunity to try new things. Himself, he said that mistakes are a part of growth, and it's not about being afraid to make changes. He has played around with the back line on multiple occasions already. They are scoring a lot of goals because of this, and their possession-heavy style has seemed to have loosened up a little bit, allowing the creative and attacking outlets to shine. And there are technical qualities absolutely everywhere across the pitch for them. Up top, there's a real fluidity that I think could cause United some problems, and Porto's frontmen seem almost intent on not having set positions. That makes them very difficult to track and pick up. They roam free and they rely on chemistry to create chances, and it works. So they're going to look to try and cause carnage in wide areas. Balls are going to come into the box. They look for the head of Samu Omorodion. Probably butchered that one a little bit, who's absolutely on fire at the moment. And their attacking players are all direct and solid dribblers. They will cause trouble for us. This is not the game that you want to be coming into as an under-fire manager. Porto also relentlessly flood the final third with numbers, and that might be the option where United can hit them on the break. They love a third-man run, and it's a concept that's likely to cause a little bit of dread for United's backline if the midfield isn't doing its job picking up numbers. Them runs, particularly in the Premier League, have seemed to unravel us quite a few times. It seems like every player in the Porto side is capable and confident in dropping deep. Every player is confident in the final third, including the fullbacks, and they will play out from the back. There is a defensive structure, and as you would expect, it's a lot more rigid, and they are very confident on the ball. They all know where they need to be. Alan Varela is quality for them in the number 6. He mops up the danger while showing a bit of a tempo-setting quality, and he stands out in terms of the technical ability. He's a real tone setter, a real pace setter, but he's still beatable when it comes to the duels. You know, they are a modern football side with a positive coaching setup. They will be tough to beat, and they will be tough to keep quiet, but they are beatable, as you know, Bodo Glimt's shown us in the last round. So I'm not telling you this is the greatest side that's ever stepped onto a football pitch, because it's not. But I expect to line up in a 4-2-3-1, and I expect it to look something along this line. So Starman Samu Omorodion, 20-year-old Spanish striker, and he is providing Porto with consistent goal-scoring output. He scored 5 in the league and Europa League, and he's tied as Porto's top scorer this season with Galerno. Now, he works hard, he drops deep, and he's absolutely lethal on the counter. He's a bit of an aerial threat, and seems to have the movement to escape his marker in the box as well. So you got to watch out for him. In terms of the United 11 that I want to see here, I think, and I hope I'm not sort of hammering on it and boring everyone with this sort of take, but I think we have to find a solution with Bruno. And looking at our options with Mainu being out potentially and Mount potentially being out, I don't think you're going to see that happen in this game. I think Bruno plays in this game. So unfortunately, I think he just plays no matter what. But I don't think you can continue to deploy him in the same role with the same responsibilities and expect different results from Manchester United or Bruno. So what I would like to see is Bruno played alongside someone like either Casemiro or Ugarte in a 6 or an 8 if you prefer that, with somebody like a Christian Eriksen in the 10. And allow Christian Eriksen to be the one that's finding those wingers in the final third and getting the pressure onto the opposition. You take away a bit of defensive responsibility from Christian Eriksen as well, and you move him 15 yards further up the pitch. The form he's in, he'll be a conductor for United. So in terms of the 11, the back 5 at the moment picks itself. You know what it is? There it is. Midfield, I'm going Bruno. And I'm going to go Ugarte as well. I think playing a Portuguese side really suits him and his experience. So I think you play Ugarte and you play him alongside Bruno. Obviously, a very big Portuguese player himself as well. And you play them in the 6 and you put Christian Eriksen in the 10. And then in the forward line, I bring Ahmad back in. I go with Rashford on the left. And I would like to see Højlund down the middle. I don't know how fit he is, but I would like to see Højlund down the middle. And later in the game, I would like to see Joshua Zirkzee brought on in the 10 for Christian Eriksen. Bit of a plan sub. But that's the 11 that I would like to see us go through. Now, as always, these previews are brought to you by our sponsor, which is Hollywood Bets, and this Europa League clash against Porto being a must-win for United means that Hollywood Bets have got a very exciting offer for us for this high-stakes game. Now, I have got Omorodion for 1+ shot on target. He averages 2.29 per game. I'm going to go for Joshua Zirkzee for 1+ shot on target. Whether that's off the bench or from the start. He's averaging 1.18 per game, over 8.5 corners, over 1.5 goals. Nico Gonzalez to be carded and Casemiro to be carded. And that's gone from 23-1 to 27-1. So a tenner on that could win you 280 back if it lands. Now, if you'd like to get involved, all you got to do is click the link in the description. And if you're new to Hollywood Bets, you just sign up and take advantage of the offer in the link below. Plus, Hollywood Bets have got loads of other exciting bonuses available for the fixtures coming at the weekend, so make sure to check them out. Odds are subject to change. You must be at least 18 years of age to participate. Football can be unpredictable, especially in a huge fixture like this. So if you're going to do it to enjoy the game and enhance your experience. There's obviously no guarantee of winning. And for more information on responsible gaming, please check out begambleaware.org. So this bet, as always, brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Click the link below to join in and feel free to share your own predictions in the comments. Now, how do United beat these then? I think you still got to start by picking up the pieces from the Spurs game. There was a 10-minute period where United were very, very good, genuinely very good. And you might be able to say it was because Spurs took their foot off the gas. We don't know that. United did get on top. It's a possibility, I'm sure. But you've got to look to that sort of stuff. What was going right in those times? What was the movements? What was the shapes? What was the tempo of how we were playing? Find what worked in that, bring that back. I'm hoping Ten Hag has learnt something from getting played off the park, because if he hasn't, we're going to be in massive trouble. He's going to have to improve on our build-up, because Porto are known, a bit like Spurs, for a high press. And our build-up has been very good this season outside of that game. So I'm hoping that United can bring a little bit of what we've seen the rest of the season and dust ourselves off from the Spurs game. Porto have scored numerous goals from pressing high and stopping teams playing out. So we have to improve on that, and we have to prevent them doing so in this game. This one's going to sound a bit simplistic, but I can't help it. How about scoring a goal? United are not scoring goals, and a United side that can't score isn't a United side. Xerxes been very unlucky. I think he's got in some excellent positions, and he absolutely should have scored some goals. Bad luck can only carry on so long, and then it starts to become excuses. There's a bit of a broken link in attack. I personally think with how systematic United are being, it's become Bruno. But without Bruno, he's still the most creative player on the pitch, generally. Eriksen has created quite a bit lately, and that's why I want to move him into the 10 and maximise that a bit. But if he's not creating the chances, where do those chances come from? It's not great viewing at the moment, but we got to fix those links in midfield, and those forwards that are getting the opportunities have to start putting it in the back of the net. It's as simple as that. And then I think team selection. We've seen Ten Hag kind of rotate a little bit this season. There hasn't been a fixed lineup. I think there's been a fixed defense, which I think is a positive. And not having a fixed lineup is not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you look at the 2 previous seasons for us. But I wouldn't mess with rotation. I think you go out to win this game no matter what. And like I said, he's got the options there to now, I think, opt for Højlund or Xerxes. He's got a couple of options in the wing, admittedly not millions. Will he play Bruno? Will he try Bruno off the right, perhaps, in an attempt to try and create more for the forwards and bring someone like an Eriksen in centrally? Again, that's an option that we didn't explore when I did the midfielder video, but it is an option that I think United have got in our top pocket should you wish to deploy that. And then on the transition, you've got to hurt them. You can absolutely hurt them with real good transitional play. Because they're aggressive, there will be gaps. You have to, in a way that United are getting capitalised on a little bit, certainly last season more so than this season, in the Premier League, because of the intensity and the pace of the Premier League. Portuguese league just isn't quite as intense and nasty. So United have got an opportunity to play at our game. I always think United look the best in Europe when we play like Manchester United, when we play with that sort of fluidity and power that United have been renowned for. And I think, taking it on a broader sort of scale, I think the Premier League itself, the teams have represented themselves well when they play like they're playing in the Premier League. And we've seen Premier League teams absolutely blow away the competition in Europe when they play like the Premier League. When they've tried to almost be too clever or come with a continental style of play, they're forgetting what got them to the dance in the first place. And it doesn't always work. Obviously, there's going to be some teams that are capable of dealing with that. I think in this instance, play like a Premier League team. Come with that mentality and rock them. Don't give them too much respect. Just go out and fucking beat them. Happy? Right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out our sponsor, Hollywood Bets, if you want to get involved in the offer that we've got this week. And I will see you after the game. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.